Hey, so how's it going, Internet? I'm WavePunk, and today I'm going to start a new series called Personal Strategy, where I take a play, I break it down, and I talk about the different things that happen in it, and I try to find a tip, something I can give you that you can take and put into your gameplay, whether with your team or whether you're in solo competitive with people you've never met before, things that you can take and that will make your gameplay better and will mainly make gameplay easier for your teammates as well. The thing with solo competitive is you can't really discuss strategy, you just kind of have to hope that your teammates are making good decisions. So hopefully these plays will be things that will play to what you think your teammates are going to do, what you know your teammates are going to do if you're playing with a real team, and will be things that will improve your game and hopefully see you winning more. So you're going to be on orange here. This is you back here with the smiley face, and we're making an offensive push here on the blue. We just did that. These two players who were up here are now coming back. You were kind of back here in a defensive position at midfield, just kind of waiting to see what happened. And so the enemy team cleared the ball up into the corner and have moved it up onto this wall. So you move from midfield up onto this ball here, and you're trying to push it back, keep the offensive going. Your teammates are rotating back onto defense just on the off chance that you miss. And then there's somebody else that'll be there to catch it right. So, but you're going to win this 1v1 here with this guy, and you're going to be able to take the ball and put it up, move it from here, and put it up here into the corner. It's going to bounce, around. Ooh, work marker. It's going to bounce around, and it's going to be coming down somewhere in this area. Now, this is a perfect placement. The ball's going to bounce around, and it's going to be moving slow so that your teammate has a lot of time to hit this ball. So you're going to have hit this ball, and you're going to be moving from here all the way up, because you've driven this ball and you've bounced it around, and you're going to be sitting somewhere in this corner here, okay? At this point, we can get rid of this line and get rid of you over here, because you're now up here. And smiley face, we know who's you. And these guys here, your teammates, as soon as they see you hit the ball back into this corner, either one of them is going to be moving back to here, and the other one's going to be coming up to here. He's going to be moving around. But if you have a player who's thinking really defensively, but most of the time, when you're in solo competitive, you run into people that are like, I want to score, right? So they see you put the ball up into the corner, they think, what can I do? How can I score? So one player is going to be rotating up and behind you, and the other player is going to be rotating up here, ready to take a shot. This is almost always what happens. So we'll move these arrows. This is where these people are now. Oh, poor midfield line is gone. So they're here. We don't need these guys. So they're here. No, that's not a person. That's a person. And then these two guys will be doing one of two things. They will either be swinging around here to run interference up in the corner to make it hard for you guys to make shots, or they're going to be rotating on defense, rotating back in behind the goalie. This is what they should do. But you know in games, and I know in games, they never do this, right? They always just go up here into the corner. So, who is the guy here that's stopping you from making the shot? It's there one dude who's sitting back in goal, who's playing defense, who's being the goalie. He's the guy who we have to worry about right now, okay? So to make the shot here, this is the guy that can make the shot. He's the guy we're trying to set up. He's the guy we're trying to help. At this point, what can you do? Well, you can't really touch the ball. At this point, touching the ball keeps it in the corner. And the longer you keep the ball in the corner, the more time you get the blue players to get into a position where they can properly defend and clear the shot. So you want this to move fast, and you want to make them make bad decisions, okay? With you here in the corner, you have a couple different things you can do. You can either move back onto defense, or you can try to touch the ball. Don't do that. Or, and this is what I suggest, you need to mess with the goalies on your way back to defense, okay? That was poorly phrased. You're gonna be moving back onto defense, but you're gonna take a slight detour. Instead of just popping from here and just piecing out and going and getting this boost, okay? That's a terrible rotation. Why? This boost isn't here. Remember, the ball was just here. There was just 4 players on top of that. That boost is gone. The ball has been here, and it's been driven up here, and then driven back into this corner. This is the play we're talking about. It's all happening on this wall. All these boosts are still here. This is still here, this is still here, and that's still here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna be coming here, and you're gonna move through the goal on your way to get this boost, or if you have a lot of boost, on your way to get, this boost over here. And what you're doing here is you're zoning the goalie. The goalie is the problem right now. If we get rid of him, this guy has a great shot. You don't have to demo him. You don't even have to touch him. You just have to make him think about you long enough that he's gonna make a bad decision about the ball, okay? If he thinks about you for just a moment, if he backs up, if he moves forward, any of that puts him out of position to where he's not in a good place to make a goal. And he spends, even if he doesn't out-position himself all that much, he's still spending time thinking about you, distracted from you, goes back to the ball, and now Mr. Joe Blow back here is gonna be up and in a position where he can dunk really easily. So So if this gets more and more complicated with the more and more people you have back on defense, or the more blue players that rotate, if all three of these players rotate back and you now have 3 goalies here, your player, for this play to be effective, it becomes more difficult. But that's not as much your fault as it is just the blue team being really smart and playing defensively, okay? But still, you could theoretically demo all 3 of them and get the goal, and then or get the boost, and then this player's ready to get a dunk. But anyways, I have a play. We're gonna watch this happen in real life in a clip, so let's switch to that now. Woo! All right, so here's the play. I'll just let it play through from the perspective of you, or from the perspective of me in this situation. You can see that we're making an offensive play here, and they cleared into the corner. So I move up onto the wall to try and keep this offensive going. Gomer misses, and so I was planning on hitting it off of his bounce, and I get loose, but Steven was there to make a block. I go to mess with the goalie, and Colonel is able to get the dunk. Well, let's rewind to here, yeah. So I'm moving up, and you can see actually 2 players on defense for blue. Party Guy didn't move up with Gomer on the offensive drive. He actually hung back into goal, which is not a bad play. And he sees that as I come up loose on the wheels, he goes up to try and get a clear here. But Steven also following up to try and keep the setup happening, because he saw that I was loose as well. He moves up and he's going to put this up into the air. Now Colonel is back in a position where he is able to dunk. He's actually farther away than I would kind of expect him to be, but at the same time this is also not a bad position for him, because he's in a place that if Bojangles, our goalie here, is able to clear the ball really well towards our side of the goal, he's in a position where he could get back and get a save. Now, we're watching this from Bojangles' perspective. With ball came on, he's focused entirely on the ball and positioning himself. And he's got a good position here, and he's coming out to try and get this clear. If he's able to get up and get into the face of this, especially because if you watch, Colonel actually hits this off the bounce. So he would totally, Bojangles would be able to save this, but then he starts to back up as he sees me coming for him. And at that point, I barely nab him, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that he's backing up, and when the ball comes down, Colonel is already making his shot, and by the time Bojangles loses focus on me and back on the ball is already rocketing into the goal, and he's able to put it in. We'll watch it one more time, full from Bojangles' perspective. There you go. Let's go back to just ball cam and just let it play out here, so you can kind of watch the overhead from the way we were talking about it before. So player moves up, is able to get the position here, and between Steven and I, we're able to put it into the spot we needed it to, and then instead of just rotating back on a defense, you go and zone the goalie. It's called zoning because it's not actually, the move you make is to put him in a bad spot, to put him in a place where he can't make the clear that he wants to make. So anyways, I hope that this play was helpful. I hope that you learned a couple things, and maybe something that you can take into your solo competitive matches or into threes with your team. I'm hoping to do more of these. If you have a cool play that you think would be fun for me to break down analytically, send it to me, or send me the replay and just tell me kind of where the timestamp is, and then I'll look through it and see if I can find something cool to happen. And anyways, yeah, this is WavePunk. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTuber stuff, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.